I'm Celeste Vaughn, a woman in my early 40s, living what most would call a dream life. My home is a sprawling sunlit haven nestled in a quiet suburban neighborhood, with a manicured lawn and a wraparound porch that Marcus, my husband of 18 years, built with his own hands. Marcus is the kind of man women envy me for, steady kind with a dry sense of humor that still makes me laugh when I least expect it. Our two daughters, Lily 16 and Ava 14, are bright-spirited girls who fill our home with chatter and chaos. From the outside I have it all. A loving family, a successful career as a marketing director, and a wardrobe of tailored dresses that make me feel polished and in control. But inside there's a hollow space I can't name. A restlessness that gnaws at me in the quiet moments, whispering that something is missing. It started innocently enough. At work I met Tran Callahan, a 32-year-old graphic designer with a quick smile, and an easy charm that made our team meetings feel less like a slog. He was different from Marcus. Where Marcus was predictable, Tran was spontaneous, with a spark in his eyes that made me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years. Our conversations began over coffee runs and shared projects, light and playful, but they soon stretched into late-night texts and private lunches. I told myself it was harmless, just a flirtation to shake off the monotony of my routine. But the thrill of his attention was intoxicating, like a drug I didn't want to quit. I started noticing the way his hand brushed mine when we passed documents, the way his laugh made my pulse quicken. I was slipping and I knew it, but I didn't stop. One evening, after a long day at the office, Tran invited me for drinks. Marcus was away on a business trip, and the girls were at a sleepover. I should have said no, but I didn't. One drink turned into 3, and before I knew it, we were in his apartment, tangled in sheets that smelled faintly of cedar and regret. The next morning I woke up with a pounding headache and a sinking feeling in my chest, but instead of pulling back, I leaned in. Tran and I began meeting in secret, stolen moments in hotel rooms, quick kisses in empty conference rooms. I told myself I deserved this, that I'd spent years being the perfect wife and mother, and this was for me. But every time I looked at Marcus, his trusting smile felt like a knife twisting in my gut. What I didn't know was that Marcus had started to suspect something. I'd grown careless, leaving my phone unlocked or staying late at work too often. One night, while I was asleep, he found an email I'd forgotten to delete. A message from Tran, brief but damning, with words like "can't wait to see you again," that left no room for misinterpretation. Marcus didn't confront me right away. He's not the type to explode or make a scene. Instead, he went quiet, his eyes sharper, his questions about my day more pointed. Behind my back, he hired a private investigator to confirm what he already knew. The investigator didn't take long to deliver photos of Tran and me, laughing too closely at a cafe, my hand on his arm. Marcus met with an attorney the next day, laying out a plan to protect himself and the girls. He wanted custody, the house, and a clean break. I had no idea the ground was shifting beneath me. Marcus chose his moment carefully. One weekend, when I was away with Tran on a work trip, that was anything but, he sat Lily and Ava down. He didn't sugarcoat it. He told them I'd been unfaithful, that I'd chosen someone else over our family. Lily cried, her face crumpling as she asked why I'd do this. Ava, always the quieter one, just stared at the floor, her hands clenched into fists. Marcus didn't vilify me. He didn't need to. The truth was enough. Together they decided to protect their future. Marcus changed the locks on the house, moved my things to a storage unit, and had divorce papers drawn up. He was methodical, not out of cruelty, but because he knew he had to be strong for the girls. When I returned from the trip, I knew something was wrong the moment I pulled into the driveway. The house looked different, colder, somehow like it no longer recognized me. My key didn't work. A note on the door in Marcus's precise handwriting told me to check my email. I opened my phone with trembling hands and found a message from him, attached with divorce papers and a single line. "We know about Tran." My heart stopped. I called Marcus, but he didn't answer. I texted Lily and Ava, but their replies were curt, distant. I drove to a hotel, my mind reeling, and spent the night staring at the ceiling, replaying every choice that had led me here. The fallout was swift and brutal. At work, rumors of my affair spread, and Tran, sensing the heat, distanced himself. My boss called me into her office and suggested I take a leave of absence. My judgment, she said, was compromising the team. I resigned before they could fire me. Marcus, meanwhile, was granted temporary custody of the girls. The divorce proceedings were a blur of accusations and legalese, my attorney fighting a losing battle against Marcus's airtight case. I tried to see Lily and Ava, but they refused, their hurt too raw. I'd lost them, not just as a mother but as someone they could trust. Months passed and I moved into a small apartment, the kind with thin walls and a leaky faucet that dripped all night. I'd lie awake haunted by memories of our old life. Sunday mornings with Marcus making pancakes, Lily's laughter, Ava's quiet hugs. I saw Tran one last time, hoping for some shred of comfort, but he was already moving on, his eyes skimming past me to someone new. I was alone, stripped of everything that had defined me. The weight of my regret was crushing, not just for losing Marcus but for dismantling the family I'd taken for granted. Marcus, on the other hand, was rebuilding. He took the girls on a trip to the coast, their first without me, and I saw photos on Lily's social media, her smiling windblown next to Marcus, who looked stronger, more at peace. He started dating again, a woman named Rachel, a schoolteacher with a warm laugh who fit into their lives like she'd always been there. The girls adored her. I heard from a mutual friend that Marcus was happy, that he'd found a stability I'd shattered. I wanted to hate Rachel, to hate him, but I couldn't. I'd done this to myself. Now I live in the shadow of my choices. I pass by our old house sometimes, slowing down to see the porch Marcus built, the lights glowing through the windows. I imagine Lily and Ava inside, laughing with Rachel, while Marcus watches with that quiet pride he always had. I don't stop though. I don't have the right. I drive back to my apartment, where the silence is my only company, and I sit with the truth. I traded my family for a fleeting thrill, and no amount of regret can bring them back. Marcus has moved on, his life whole again. I'm the one left behind, carrying the pieces of a life I broke.